Alright, this is the Jocko podcast. I don't know if you guys know who Jocko is, but he's a ex Marine. No, he's a Navy SEAL, ex Navy SEAL. Yeah. Oh shit! What the fuck? Hey yo, hold up. Let me make sure I got a way out. Man. Yeah, he's an ex-Marine, Navy SEAL. He has a book called Extreme Ownership, and it's one of my favorite books. I recommend everyone read it. Definitely, I feel like very important to look at. Oh, bro, what the fuck? Oh god, hopefully I don't get lost in this fucking cave.
This is the Jocko Underground Podcast number 30. Sitting here with Echo Charles.
Yes, sir.
This is Jocko Willing talking. Starting off, we had a topic come up. A question submitted. But it's like a discussion topic more than an actual direct question. Are we raising soft kids in this day and age? Or is that something every generation says? You hear about this a lot, don't you? What is it? The thing is, strong men create good times creates weak men create bad times create strong men, and you get this circle going. Yeah. Some truth to it, right? Yeah. Definitely some truth to it. So, are we raising soft kids? I think some kids are being raised soft. I think other kids are not. I think that there is definitely a way that you could live in this day and age where you could be very soft as a human. You could eat foods that make you weak. You could do activities that make you weak. You could avoid activities that would make you strong and tough. You could avoid mental stressors that make you mentally tough. So I think maybe not necessarily are we raising purposely, but I think the environment will have a larger tendency right now to make kids a little bit softer. So it's something we need to watch out for.
I'm just trying to find lava. I need lava to get some obsidian, bro. Where the fuck? Where did this go? Oh, come on, motherfucker. There you go.
That being said, you can never take away the fact that there's some freaking unbelievably tough kids. I'll tell you what, I go down to the...
Yo, facts. People be sleeping on some areas, bro. There's some areas that I will not fuck with some people.
When I go down to the Dames right now, to the Dames, I'll meet young frogmen. Mm-hmm. They're freaking totally legit. 100% legit as any frogman I've ever met in my life. Young. Oh, what do you do? I'm a machine gunner. Like, straight up, they're ready to rock and roll. Mm-hmm. So to sit here and throw, this is why we can't just throw the universal statement out right now. Oh, we're raising weaker kids. No. Go meet I meet young team guys. They're freaking legit. Yeah. And go meet a young Marine. Legit.
Oh, what the fuck?
Go meet a young soldier. Legit. So to have...
Holy shit. This is crazy. But yeah, no, definitely, like, yo, my little brother and cousin, they're fucking goons, bro. Okay? I know some kids that are fucking goons. Okay, bet. I should have brought...
I have this idea that we're just universally producing weak humans right now. I think it's not true, but You can take a path at this juncture in life where you may end up soft if you're not careful. And you may raise soft kids if you're not careful. So that's what I think it is. Environmentally, the opportunity is there to raise weak kids, but it is not necessarily going to happen. And some kids today also, they're smarter. I can tell you, like, going through SEAL training, the kids that go through SEAL training right now are in better shape than the kids that I went through SEAL training with.
Yeah. That's crazy. Okay, that's really interesting. Because I feel like a lot of people don't be working out. Or at least that's like the stereotype. Like, oh, no one's fucking working out now and this and that.
Because we didn't have any program. We didn't have any supplementation. We didn't know about recovery. We didn't know about working out. We didn't know anything. Yeah. We were just knuckle draggers.
Yeah. And see, this is why you don't mind straight down. Fuck, that's all granite shit, bro. Watch this. Bah. Oh, okay, can I stand on this? Oh, a kid, okay. God, this is scary. Okay, so things fall. Okay.
And these kids now, they're working, they understand, they study. So from that perspective, the kids are better.
Yeah. Huh?
And then you might ask, well, what about the attrition rate? Because the attrition rate stays the same, which is weird, right? So they do all these things. So I'm telling you right now, the kids, and this is not just my personal opinion, this is coming from guys that I know that work in basic SEAL training. They'll be like, oh yeah, the kids are in way better shape than we were. So that's the fact. But still, the attrition rate, still 80%. Why is that? Well, you got to push yourself a little bit harder. Because you're in a boat crew now, and everyone in the boat crew, the output is the same. You see what I'm saying? So if you took a car, if you and I raced, and you and I both had cars that had whatever 200 horsepower engines, and we rolled them as hard as we could, that engine would be tired, right? It would be maxed out. And we only went however fast we went. We only went 100 miles an hour. If we both had 700 horsepower engines, we would both go use every bit of it. We might go faster, but we still make it just as tired. Yeah. So they're pushing themselves harder. And when you get to that push point, doesn't matter how many horsepower you have. When you go, a car can only hold that whatever 90% of max capacity for how long? And this is the thing, a SEAL, a guy going through SEAL training, can only hold that max capacity for so long, and then they quit. Yeah. So maybe it was 80. Maybe you can hold 90% for a certain amount of time. Well, the person that makes it can hold 91. The person that can hold 89 quits. Doesn't matter how many horsepower the engine is. Because there's some people that end up they are the loser. They're the last place of every run. The last place of every run. They're sometimes putting out even harder than the first place person. Yeah. But they're coming in last place. Sometimes the first place person's putting out the same amount as the last place person. They're both putting out 91%. Just over threshold. And they learn to get over that threshold. The person that's only putting out 89, someone's telling them, hey, you got to run 91%. They don't do it. They go 89 and they quit. They can't keep going. So got to watch out for that.
Yeah. And that's not to mention that the mental, essentially, the mental part of it. So you know how like you can be, and this is the old thing too, where if you're a gifted athlete, and this can go with like a highly trained athlete as well. You'd think, anyway, it's all theory, obviously, but you get to a point where mentally you're like, you just cross the threshold. It's essentially not worth it.
Oh yeah,
that's what it feels like at the moment. It's not worth it. I quit. So yeah, you can be highly trained, supplementation. You can be all this stuff, but when you get in there and you're hit with that thing that pushes you over the mental threshold, when it's not worth it, but I could understand. I don't know how they do it or what exactly everything they do or whatever, but I could see that as being a non-factor for the trainers or whatever, being like, no, we'll push them to this mental point. I don't care how gifted these guys are. Like, you have to be mentally strong, no matter if you're a fast runner or a slow runner, fast swimmer or slow swimmer. It's easy to get to that point as a trainer, knowing you know what to do.
Let's say that you and I are both in SEAL training class, and they go, okay, we're going to do bear crawls, which is on your hands and feet, and you're wearing your twin 80 aluminum or twin 80 steel scuba tanks. So this is just psycho, right? Now, let's say for this hypothetical situation, which we'll say that you're stronger than me. Sure. All right? Just hypothetically, which is, I know, is be hard for people to imagine this. So you're stronger than me, and you can bear crawl with your twin 80s on your back. You can bear crawl for 100 yards. Mm-hmm. And I am weaker than you, and I can only bear crawl for 80 yards. So guess how long they're going to make us bear crawl for? They're going to make me bear crawl 81. They're going to make you bear crawl 101. Yeah. And there's 20 yards difference. Yeah. And guess what? There's someone else that was capable of going. It doesn't matter. He could be capable of doing 110 yards. Guess how much he did? 109. And he quit. And another guy was only capable of doing 62 yards, but he only did 61. He quit. Another guy was only capable of doing 40 yards. He did 41. He stayed in. He just was able to hang on long enough.
They need to chill.
Yeah. That
Can you just suck it up and just do a little bit more?
Well, the mental part is like, if you don't have a mental approach, and this is again back to the little theory, and you mention little stuff every once in a while where you'll say, oh yeah, they'll do this thing, well they'll be like,
but yeah, no, this is facts. Like, a lot of times it's just you gotta push yourself to the edge and then go a little bit over. Like, that's the only way you get stronger.
Like, hey, we push you guys a little bit too hard, so we're gonna allow you guys to rest. Like,
yeah,
it's a unique situation. Yeah. And then
it's a big lie.
So, get 2 hours of sleep or whatever, and then right when you like fall asleep after 5 minutes, they wake you up and do all this stuff. Like those mental things with all the physical stuff, like some people are not ready for that. Like your brain is like, it's weird like that.
And you don't know. There's people that are incredible athletes that ring out all day long. All day long.
That one that you say,
that reminds me, another guy I wanna show on the channel, David Goggins, also has an incredible book. I think it's called Unfuck Yourself or some shit like that. I don't know. I think. Ooh, is there lava down here? But or is it this fucking glowing moss shit? Yeah, no, it was fucking. Fuck. But David Goggins, oh yeah, it is this fucking glowing moss shit. Oh fuck. He's just like an extreme workout guy. He's a fucking nut job. He's crazy. Like, he's genuinely crazy. But he just fucking takes everything to the extreme, and he pushes his body to the peaks of shit. And like I did not know people ran like 100-mile fucking races and shit like that. And he did this shit while he was overweight, trying to get into the military. He did this shit for training, and he said he shot himself the first time he did it. Like, he ran so much that he like shot himself and like fucked up his joints and shit. But he's a he's an interesting guy. He's an interesting guy to look into, and I think it's a really good example to show like how far the human body could push itself.
You or JP, I think both of you guys say this, where they do a good job in making you feel like it'll just go on forever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they don't say, hey, one more evolution, one more rep, one more whatever. They're just like, nope, again. Like, and it feel, bro, with that feeling, that's like almost like a claustrophobic feeling.
You know what you have to do? You have to accept death.
Lost.
Yeah.
Like, you have to accept that, we're going to be doing this log PT for actually forever.
Yeah.
It's never going to stop. That's got to be your mentality going into it. If you have the mentality like, I can just make it a little bit longer. This is going to end soon. No, you see me like it's never going to end. Because they're looking at you. They're looking at you like, oh, Willing's looking tired. Yeah. Looking like he might be at his breaking point. Do it again. Yeah. Do it again. They would look at me. I'd just be like, what? Do it again? Oh, cool. Watch this. Doing it again. Doing it again. Never show that little bit of weakness. So
that makes sense. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I think, are we raising soft kids? I think this environment, you got to be careful. Otherwise, the kids have a tendency to be soft. Let's face it. If you're looking at your social media as a 14-year-old, or you're playing a video game as a 14-year-old, whereas what you would have been doing 30 years ago would be hucking rocks at each other and sprinting around and hunting and just getting crazy, like, that kid is going to be have a little bit more than someone that's playing a video game or looking at social media.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the whole every generation says that. I think
this shit's fucking annoying with this glow moss shit, because I keep thinking it's like lava. Oh my god, damn.
A big part of that is true.
That is true, yeah.
And of course that makes sense, because as the generations move on, the environmental problems, for lack of a better way of putting it, become more and more solved. So with the old school, you look at old school stuff, you're like, bro, we have machines for that. We have apps for that. We have gadgets to solve all those problems.
Bruh, never mind any of this. You press a button on this computer that you got in your pocket, and food's showing up to your door in 30 minutes.
Exactly right. Dude, man, remember,
I'm stuck.
there was
and what else do you need? Water. What do you need? Anything you need is showing up to your door in an hour.
Right.
So yeah, that solves a lot of problems.
A lot of them.
You're not out with a bow and arrow trying to shoot a deer.
Nope.
Oh god.
You get the deer. You can even get grass fed.
Oh,
beef for sure. Versus you can be like, no, I want the all natural.
Yeah.
You know,
you can be like, no, I want my, I want this cow to have been eating just grass, and I want it to be less.
Oh my god.
That is a little excerpt of what we are doing on the Jocko Underground podcast. So if you want to continue to listen, go to jockounderground.com and subscribe. And we're doing this to mitigate our